Greetings, beautiful earth angels. Welcome back to another video. It's your girl nagad, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience on shrooms, or my shrooms experience. Everything, the story, my experience, how it felt, and even how it tasted, like literally everything. I'm also going to be doing a shrooms Q&A. Leave any questions you have about my experience or your experience or literally anything down below, and I'll get on that. Let's just proceed and get started. I wrote notes for this, and I have a cup of water because I need to stay hydrated because I have been lacking. Slacking. I'm just gonna start off by saying my experience with shrooms was an extremely introspective, life-changing, phenomenally amazing thing. I really recommend it to people. I actually find it crazy that things like shrooms and weed, well, was just made legal, but I know there's some legal rules when it comes to shrooms as well, depending on where you live. But it's crazy that those things are looked down upon and frowned upon, but things like alcohol, which is literally poison, and sugar, which is literally 8 times more addicting than opioids, cocaine, those two things are so normal. Fine, let's glass of wine for sure. But shrooms and weed, it's fungus and a plant. That grows effortlessly in nature is so frowned upon. This experience opened my eyes to how insanely selfish capitalism can be. And it's all thanks to shrooms, baby girl. If you're gonna take shrooms or whatever, take it at your own risk. But my biggest advice is, although I haven't experienced the other side of this, but my biggest advice is to take it with someone you feel safe taking it with. Take it alone if you want to. Take it somewhere you're comfortable. Take it when you are in a good mood. Plan it out. Make it a day maybe. In my case, I've been wanting to try shrooms for the past probably 4 years now. And I came to a point in my life where I'm like, okay, whatever I need to experience will present itself to me. I'm not gonna go looking for it. I'm not gonna go trying my best with such a thirsty attitude to get my fingers on it. When it happens, it happens. And I was so open to it'll happen when the time is right. It'll literally fall on my lap, which is literally what happened. Okay, it didn't fall on my lap from the sky. I had an opportunity where someone I know was like, hey, you want some? Yeah, okay, cool. So easy, so natural. The time was right. It was perfect weather. It was during the summertime, by the way. I own over an acre of land. That's where we live. So, I was able to take my shrooms and then also be outside all day on my property. I wasn't in a public park or in my backyard where neighbors can see me, because I did some interesting things outside. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Things I've never done in my life, and I'm 23. I'm 23 years old. I'm turning 24 in a couple weeks. When the opportunity presented itself, I was very grateful. I was excited. I was like, yes, the universe thinks now is the time, and I'll just go with it. And looking back at it now, that was the perfect time for me to try shrooms. If I tried it before then, wouldn't have been right. If I tried it after then, literally impossible, because then it would be today. But yeah, the day I tried it was a really sunny day. There was no rain whatsoever. It was literally, if heaven was a temperature, it was heaven. The weather outside was not too hot, not too cold. There was a breeze, but it wasn't a cold breeze. It was an airy breeze. It was just bright and beautiful and sunny, and the birds were chirping and the grasshoppers were singing. It was so perfect. Woke up that morning and I made tea. Shroom tea. That's how I ingested my shrooms. So I just boiled it in some water and it was simple. Tastes disgusting. Smells weird. Sometimes, out of nowhere. I don't know if I'm the only one. Tell me if you've experienced this before, if you've had shrooms before. Especially if you drank the tea. I just smell it. Out of nowhere, I'll smell the shrooms. Maybe there's something in my life that's triggering the smell, but am I the only one? The tea wasn't great. It didn't make me gag, but just drinking hot liquid that fast, I just wanted to chug it and get it over with, was interesting. I have one thing to say, which I did wrong, which I know I shouldn't though, but I did wrong. But I didn't, well, I don't know if I did wrong. You tell me. I didn't necessarily measure the amount of shrooms I ingested. Well, I know what it looked like. I know how much I took, but I don't know how much it weighed. But the person who gave the shrooms was pretty experienced and knew what would be safe. So I kind of went with that. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I ingested the shrooms. The first thing you feel is nausea. You feel, like you're about to throw up. Your body is basically struggling to break down a certain ingredient, which I don't know the exact name. The moment I know when I'm about to hit my trip or start my trip and take off is when I start yawning. The first thing that started to happen for me was that my mind kind of went silent. Like, I personally have a lot of I have a lot of voices talking in my mind. I'm crazy. No, I mean, like, I have a lot of things going on. Like, everything to me became so much easier. It's like, the best way I can describe it is my mindset went from being my age to being a mixture of my inner child and just pure wisdom. Like, it was those two things. I wasn't concerned about things that, you know, like someone my age would be concerned about. I was very childlike, but also I had a lot of wisdom and a lot of old woman tarot reader vibes. You know what I mean? I was able to focus on one thing at a time. Like, my mind was very precise. No chitter chatter, no things that just was not necessary to be there. Okay, that was my first thing. And I remember just looking at the grass. Like, I remember just staring at the grass and like putting my fingers through it. And then obviously time is nothing. When people say time doesn't exist, it's like something you just say, but when you're on shrooms, it's something you experience, you live, you feel, you know. It's something you know. Time was not even a concern. It wasn't even a thought. I was just alive. I was always constantly in the moment. Not one moment did I think about something that was unattainable or something that was negative or something that made me feel like bad about myself. You know what I mean? Like, the only times I would think about things that I had to go do or get were the moments that I was actually about to get up and get it. Like, an example would be, oh, I need my charger, my phone's dying. I need my charger, my phone's dying. That was not happening. I don't even know where my phone was 90% of the time. But I'm sure if I did see my phone and I saw that it was dying, I would have just gotten up in that moment and walked to get my charger. You see what I mean? Like, things were just so much simpler. I was focusing on things I never focused on before. Like, example, there was a grasshopper. I don't want to say I hate bugs. That's the old me talking. I'm not a big fan of bugs. I'm really not. I can't lie. Now I'm not as scared now. That's definitely something shrooms helped me with. But before I was like, I don't want nothing to do with them. But in that moment, and I kind of just like I kind of just saw it from the corner of my eye, and I didn't think, oh my god, there's a grasshopper. I just looked at it. Like, there was no thoughts. I was just living in the moment. Saw the grasshopper, just looked at it, the mind silent. I'm not even thinking about what it looks like or how do you explain this? Like, I'm not thinking about what it looks like, what color it is, all the details, wow this, wow that. Like, I'm thinking of nothing. I am just looking at this grasshopper with no thoughts, just experiencing the grasshopper. And I kind of just got closer and closer and closer. As close as Source told me, sis, if you go any closer, he'll leave. And I kind of just stared at it. And I looked at it, and for some reason, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, that grasshopper was nothing but everything at the same time. Like, I was just so in awe, but just, that's just something that happened, okay? You lose I lost my sense of self to the point where in my mind, there was no separation between me and that grass. And it was like I was exploring a part of my body I've never seen before. I still till this day don't know what's so dangerous about shrooms. Like, literally nothing I said so far is like, wow, red flag. If you're a spiritual person, obviously, you're probably like, you kind of understand where I'm coming from. But if you're not spiritual at all, you probably think I'm going crazy, so it's fine. Oh my god, and another thing I forgot to mention. When I was walking up to my backyard, to the part where I was at, which was so beautiful, it was like I was in heaven. I walked up and noticed that this tree that we have that's over our fire pit looked extremely sad. For some reason, it looked like it was just crying for help, like so sad. When I'm sober, I don't see it. I don't see what I saw. I can see what I saw in my memory, but I don't see it with my eyes. You know what I mean? Like I can compare what I remember seeing that day versus what I actually see now, and it's not comparable at all. It just looks like a movie set. It looks like so fake. Like things look so fake, yet depending on where you're looking in the moment, it can either look so extremely fake or look so extremely like, you know what makes it look fake? All the details. Because when you're on shrooms, you see more details than you normally see. I felt like I was on a movie set. I felt like somebody made everything. Like everything was made by somebody and it was just put here. And when you look or do your research on magic mushrooms and how ancient tribes used it and current cultures use it till this day, a lot of religious beliefs and religious ideologies stem from spirituality, like spiritual things that were here longer than 3,000 years. Like, let's be honest. I think that idea of a creator definitely is highly influenced by obviously our innate feeling that, you know, there's something out there, mixed with spiritual leaders or spiritual people's experiences with all these hallucinogenics and all of these beautiful things that Mother Nature provides for you. I know some people are gonna be like, so you're saying God exists, God must exist then, nah. I'm not saying the God that doesn't want me to do shrooms exists. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying that source, the mother, like Mother Nature exists. Another thing was that everything looked euphoric. Everything just made me happy and fulfilled. I couldn't even think about one thing to worry about. I can just stare at, I could have spent days just looking at everything one by one and I wouldn't have gotten tired of any of it. Like at all. Something else was the realization, because again, like I said, I own land. Well, I own where I live. The realization of owning nature also was a foreign concept to me for a second. Like I couldn't understand who sold me these trees that I own, the grass that I own, the rocks that I own. I felt so bad that somebody sold this. Like, and the person who sold it didn't even make it. Didn't even build it. Everything about capitalism just started crumbling. I even had a moment where I was considering just trying to give away the things I don't need, give away the excess money, aka savings, which I'm not gonna do because that's what savings are. But in the moment I was like, I can give this away to somebody who actually needs it, because none of this matters. Nothing matters. It's not a big deal. I can survive without it. Like I could feed myself, pay my bills and everything without what I have. So I have an excess and I should give it away to people. Mind you, this is not like alcohol where you do things and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do it, it was the alcohol. Shrooms are not like that. Shrooms are just like, you're conscious of your decision. So obviously I wasn't influenced to do it because of shrooms. It was more of like a realization where I kind of felt bad that the society wanted me to hold on to things that I no longer needed, or hold on to keep an excess. Like the idea of a fridge, you know, like where you stock things and you don't necessarily need it now. And it kind of makes you understand the whole hippie movement a lot better, because that's basically what they were about. Like things they were preaching back then in the 60s, I'm talking about now. There was just a lot of conversations where I was like, none of this is important. What's important is what I'm doing right now, which is being out in nature, happy in the moment. I had a moment where I was walking home because I wanted to experience like being in the house. And for some reason, I have this habit of walking fast. I think it's because I'm a Capricorn. I don't know. But I walk really fast. I'm always in a rush to get to my destination. And I never was fully conscious of it. Like I was here and there sometimes, like not as deeply as I was then that day. But I was walking home and then for some reason, something in me, like there was always that voice in me, which was me, but it was so wise yet so young, was like, why are you rushing? There's no need to rush, nagad. And it's the kindest voice, because it's not like, why are you rushing? Like, oh my god, you're so like, oh my god, you're such a this, you're such a that. Like it doesn't talk to you that way. It talks to you so kindly. Like how, sorry if the camera angle changed a little bit. My battery died. Ooh, nagad, speak English. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, okay, I was walking home, like I said, And that voice, okay, I know where I am now. And for some reason that, I don't know, the voice I was hearing in my head, which was obviously myself, was just a lot more, I was not as hesitant to listen to it. Usually I'm just constantly arguing with that voice, but this time I was just like, she's right. And I started walking extremely slow. Like, if you saw me and you saw me walking, you probably think there's something wrong with me. But I was walking extremely slowly, and I just experienced the walk home. I live in a very nature green place, so there was a lot to experience on my walk home. But from my walk to the tiny home from the other house, so it was nice. I really enjoyed that. And as soon as I stepped into my house, I saw how beautiful my house is. Like, everything was so peaceful. Like, I was reassured throughout this experience that the people I surround myself with, and the place I live, and the area in which I live in is perfect for me. It couldn't be any better, because nothing about my experience was sad or down. Some people say when they go home, like, everything is dark and dingy and closed in, and you know what I mean, like, or wherever they do their shrooms isn't the best, most positive place, so they have a bad experience. Thank God that wasn't me, because everywhere I went, I loved. So I came home, listened to some Bob Marley, which was really interesting because things sound and look different but better. Like, it looks like you are a virgin to everything. You're a virgin to sound, you're a virgin to video, you're a virgin to everything. Like, and it sounded like, you know, when they play those YouTube videos where it's like this song but in a different room, that's what it sounded like to me. Or it actually sounded like I was in the recording room, like I was in the studio with him, but I was like where the sound engineer sits, you know, like it sounded more clear. Or I had headphones, but they weren't headphones, like the music was specifically traveling to my ears, and it sounded clear. I also watched a couple of my YouTube videos. I know, probably shouldn't have done that, but I did it. And do I regret it? No, I actually cried. I cried because watching myself triggered memories, because when I was on the shrooms, I couldn't think about anything negative. You could offer me $1 million, which I wouldn't have accepted anyways, because I would be like, F money at that point. I didn't really care about that stuff. But you could offer me $1 million to say a negative thing, and I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I watched myself, and it triggered memories of the horrible things I was saying to myself when I was filming that video, when I was editing that video, the horrible things I said about myself. I couldn't believe that. Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I thought I was XYZ, or I looked to XYZ, or, you know, like, I don't know. I was just really sad that I was being mean to myself. Like a kid, literally. Like a little girl, I was crying about how mean I was. And I don't look at myself the same anymore. I had a moment where, okay, before I took the shrooms, I don't even know if I washed my face that day, to be honest. Like, I was just very like, let's do this. I don't care what I look like. I don't even think I fixed my ponytail. Like, I had my hair in a ponytail, but I don't think I changed it up or anything. I even think I walked around in my pajamas. I'm not even kidding. So I had a moment where I looked myself in the mirror, and it was such a crazy experience. Like, I was just staring at myself, and it looked like I was looking at someone else in a weird way, but somebody who was so perfect, absolutely perfect. Not because she was beautiful, but because she had 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, eyebrows, a jaw, like all the necessary things. It was so primal. Everything I had was so necessary, and I just thought it was so beautiful that I had all of it, and I was so thankful, and I couldn't even believe that was me. Mind you, my skin looked so much better than it actually probably was, and it kind of made me think, wow, am I just being mean to myself all the time, or do I have good skin? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that happened. Oh my god, the most important thing. Why did I leave this for last? I should have made this the first thing. The grid in the sky. It was very obviously there. I did my research after, and I'm not the only person who experienced it, but I was laying on my back with my eyes closed, and when my eyes were closed, I saw all these colors and shapes and all that. And then as soon as I opened my eyes, there was a clear grid in the sky. Kind of looked like this a little bit. Just a little bit. Let me focus on this. This is the back of a tarot card. But think about this, but just, yeah, like that. But more symmetric, like extremely symmetric, none of those thin lines. All over the sky, it was kind of like a dome. It was crazy, and I till this day can't really explain what that was. Like, I know what it is. We're living in a simulation. Honestly, for me, it could mean so many things. I'm not set on one thing. At the end of the day, I'm gonna die not knowing, so it doesn't matter. But I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, I would close my eyes, open my eyes, move around, look back up. The entire sky was covered in a grid, a very symmetrical grid. And it was like a pattern. My mind can't come up with something that perfect. Like, it was there. I could see it. And you should do your research on that, because it's very fascinating how many people see grids when they're hallucinating in the sky. Till this day, I honestly believe that grid is there. I just feel like psilocybin mushrooms unlock a level of vision and hearing, and like it enhances your senses and also unlocks certain aspects of your senses that you don't have access to. Because I think there's like 100 or something senses that humans have, but we only have access to 5 or something like that. I don't have the facts, but I have the half facts, okay? Wow, I don't know. I don't even know how else to explain it. That was my experience with shrooms. I truly appreciated every minute I was on shrooms. The beginning, the end, even the nauseous moments, everything. I appreciated it. That was a good experience. Things make sense when you're on shrooms. All of the things your ego put in place. Your ego, first of all, say bye to her. But all the things your ego put in place, society puts in place, everything that kind of blocks you from seeing issues or problems or situations, I should say, for what they truly are, kind of fall down. What once was 7x squared plus 3x minus 5 kind of simplifies to 1 plus 1 equals 2. You know what I mean? Instead of solving an algebraic equation, shrooms kind of helped me narrow it down to just the simplified version of, okay, this is how you feel, this is what you want to do, and that will be the outcome. So yeah, that was my experience on shrooms. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this video. Again, if you have any questions, leave it down below. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I left out, a lot of information that I left out for sure, probably. And I hope I'm proud of this video so I can upload it, you know? Do I recommend shrooms? Absolutely, positively. There will never be a time in this, and there will never be a moment on this earth where I won't recommend something natural. Shrooms, weed, go for it. It's your life. Experience it how you want to experience it. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Same time, same place? Same place, same time? Okay, good.